in our special series on great Derby moments. We've used video and film, sometimes black and white and grainy as well.
But still photographs can be very much more than still. Tonight we wrap everything up by taking you through a host of great Derby moments through the camera lens of a Louisville media legend who has recorded Derby history for 45 straight years.
There's only so much the video world can do when somebody wins the Kentucky Derby.
Be cool about it.
There's a lot Dan Dry can do with it in a couple of clicks. Javier Castellano, winless in 15 tries at the Kentucky Derby, finally gets the roses on Mage. A bundle of nerves before, an explosion of ecstasy afterward. But it's this moment right here that tells the whole story.
What are you looking for when you're trying to anticipate?
Well, the great photos were made when luck meets anticipation. Got to be ready for it, but you got to have a little bit of luck.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, Dan Dry has published a library full of Kentucky Derby novels.
I've got to figure out that one shot that's going to sum it all up.
Entering his 46th consecutive year shooting the Derby, he has captured the moments of euphoria aboard long shots like Rich Strike and Country House, and the moments of pre-race pressure on legends like Seattle Slew.
That horse goes on to not only win the Derby, but win the Triple Crown. And it was my second year of photographing the Derby. I thought that was pretty darn cool.
No, I'm looking for something that's compositionally interesting.
We caught up with Dan Dry in 1996 when he was shooting the Derby for the first time in decades without film in his camera.
You open the latch, and this is the image memory card. It holds 42 images.
He embraced this new invention called the digital camera.
And this is like immediate gratification because you shoot it, you download it, it's uploaded, and there it is.
He has always embraced bad weather. The muddier, the better. Dan Dry is not afraid to get wet.
I'm not a fan of rain, but it makes for some pretty darn good pictures.
When Derby fashion clashes with a dirty track, it stirs up a storm of opportunity.
You can see it's blowing up the bottom of the dress. The sand is coming. They're covering their eyes. One frame.
Yes, the Kentucky Derby is about colorful fashion and famous people, but Dan Dry would rather point his camera at the ordinary people in extraordinary moments of joy or reflection. And he still reflects on that one day when photographers had no one to photograph.
We called it a ghost derby because there was no derby.
When the pandemic left the Kentucky Derby postponed on the first Saturday in May, Dan Dry did some of his most powerful work.
I'd be lying if I didn't fess up and tell you that, yes, when I was out there shooting that day, I went up by myself and cried more than one tear.
Fortunately, a few months later, Dan was back.
It's like, wait, what? He shot the butts of the horses. What is he doing?
Shooting the backsides of horses and the backside of the track.
Everybody thinks the best shots at Churchill Downs are in the morning and they're on the backside.
I love
Agree or
it.
disagree?
I love it. I agree. You have no earthly clue which one of those horses that you're back there with, that you're photographing, is going to change somebody's life on Derby Day. Literally change somebody's life.
And you see, that is the most beautiful thing about the Kentucky Derby. It's only 2 minutes between this and this. The Derby, like photography, is where luck meets anticipation.
Gives you chills, doesn't it? That concludes the 10th and final episode of our series. If you missed any and you're interested, we've posted them all on wave3.com. Just go to Kentucky Derby 150 up there at the top of the homepage, and it'll take you to all the Derby 150 moments in history stories.
They've been great.
Yeah, thanks.